It's funny how you can love someone so deeply, yet feel so utterly lost when they begin to unravel before your eyes. I never imagined that after 15 beautiful years of marriage, I'd find myself asking the question, Adia, for wanting to leave my wife during what seemed to be a mental breakdown? When I think back on our life together, we were an inseparable team, partners in every sense of the word, tackling life's challenges hand in hand. But now, I often feel like I am not only losing her, but also losing myself in the process. Let me take you back to where it all started. My wife Jessica and I fell in love in high school. We had our fair share of ups and downs, but when we became parents to 4 amazing kids, things seemed perfect. We both juggled careers and family life, and I was even pursuing my dream of becoming a nurse, all while she held down a demanding job in healthcare. She was my rock, the one who held everything together while I studied late nights, swamped with assignments and balancing shifts at work. But then, somewhere along the way, Jessica began to fixate on her appearance. It started innocently enough with a desire to lose a few pounds, but quickly spiraled into something much darker. I can remember the day she told me she was going to start a diet. I supported her completely, encouraging healthy habits and following her lead. However, as the days turned into weeks, I noticed unease within her. She wouldn't eat a full meal. Instead, she'd nibble on a piece of lettuce, convincing herself it was all for her health. My heart ached watching her starve herself of not just food, but also her joy. Then there was the hair. Oh, the hair. It became a daily obsession. She would stand in front of the mirror for hours, convinced that something was wrong with it. I tried to reassure her, telling her she was beautiful, but she was having none of it. That self-doubt morphed into a relentless pattern of cutting her hair over and over. Each time I'd catch her sitting on the bathroom floor, eyes full of tears, I felt helpless. I didn't know how to reach her, how to pull her back from that edge. Then came the accident, a turning point I could never have predicted. Jessica had an incident with a patient at work, one that we later found out was an unfortunate mistake. But from that moment on, she fell into a spiral. She believed she had contracted a disease and that the hospital had done this to her on purpose. My heart sank as each visit to a doctor seemed to bring more confusion instead of clarity. She underwent every test imaginable, HIV, HPV, syphilis, you name it. Each result came back negative, but Jessica wouldn't accept it. Slowly, anxiety took over her life, wrapped its claws around her, and wouldn't let go. And there I was, trying my best to be supportive, buying her creams, toners, and anything I thought might help. She came to me, tears in her eyes, saying that work was keeping tabs on her, that people lived in our street to follow her. I knew I had to intervene, and that was when I reached my breaking point. I gently suggested seeking professional help, a psychologist or psychiatrist who could help her sort through her mind. But her reaction was explosive. She insisted she knew what was happening, that she didn't need help. I remember standing in our living room, feeling a tidal wave of emotions crash over me. Her refusal to seek help felt like a rejection of everything I was trying to do for her. Feeling trapped, I explained how we couldn't afford for her to quit her job. Each of us had our roles. I was working full-time, studying, taking care of the children, and managing the house while she slowly slid into this abyss. When she declared she'd quit her job and stay home, my heart sank. I was overwhelmed. 4 kids, bills, the stress of school. And how could I support her emotionally when I felt she was spiraling out of control? That's when I found myself sitting back, questioning everything about our relationship. Was it selfish to think about leaving her during such a difficult time? Or was it a necessary step for my own mental well-being when each conversation felt like walking through a minefield? Those thoughts plagued me day and night. I wanted nothing more than to help her, to see her happy and fulfilled again. Yet with every passing day, I felt more like a caretaker, and my own needs were fading into the background. I wondered if I was abandoning her in her darkest hour. Would leaving her be the worst thing I could do? Or would it finally push her to seek the help she desperately needed? It's a complicated dance of love, anxiety, and desperation. I keep circling back to that question. Ita for wanting to leave my wife during what feels like a mental breakdown. In this whirlwind of emotions, I am left wondering if I'm taking the easy way out or if prioritizing my own mental health is what I need to do. So, I turn to you all now. What would you have done? Would you stand by her side, hoping for the glimmer of the person you once knew to return? Or would you recognize the toll it was taking on you and walk away? Your opinions mean the world to me, so please share your thoughts.